Hey guys, Zach here. Welcome back to another one of my Salem videos, and in this first exploration video, I'm going to have to do the very basics of this game, and basically the main objective when you first start this game is to find a smooth stone. So what I did was I went out exploring, and surprisingly it didn't take me too long. I might have been lucky, and it was also maybe because I was playing at a time when there weren't too many people online. Basically, if the server is crowded, there's more people competing for the resources, so it would lower your chance of actually finding anything. So when I was playing at this time, there weren't really many people wandering around, only a few here and there. So I actually went around looking, and at first I thought I found a smooth stone right away, but it turned out to be some salt on the beach. One main point I do have to make sure you guys do remember: when you leave the city of Boston, make sure you know which way you're going. Look at the map. Are you heading north? Are you heading south? What I did in this video, where I'm searching for all kinds of resources, is I followed the beach. So basically, I just walked along this beach and I never strayed too far from it. So if anything happened, I knew all I had to do was follow this beach back the way I came, and I wouldn't be lost. Anyway, I kept looking around for all kinds of things, and as you can see, I picked up all kinds of things, but eventually I did find the smooth stone, and actually within the first 15 minutes of just walking around, I actually found 2 smooth stones. So that's probably really lucky for me. So eventually, as you can see, I did pick up quite a bit of food, quite a bit of resources. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing with all these things, but it might be useful at some point in the future. But I think the main discovery are the 2 smooth stones. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to head back to the city of Boston, and I'm going to start studying these smooth stones to show you what the leveling system is like and what the skill system is like and how you basically progress in this game. Alright, now that we've collected all those things in our inventory, where we have a full inventory now of all kinds of rubbish, and it seems like the world is starting to get populated. I actually had a bit of problem logging back in because it said the location I logged out was occupied. So, lesson learned, don't log out in an area where it is pretty crowded, because if someone's standing in the position where you logged out, then you can't log back in until they clear that spot. And I also have a feeling that if you stand in some spot and someone builds a building on it, it's going to be like, oh, you can't log in because there's a building where you were. And if you were to log back in and it says we can transport you to your homestead, you lose everything in your inventory, which would defeat the purpose of this video. Anyway, this video, I'm going to get away from this crowd because it's a little distracting. And I'm going to be studying these smooth stones, and I'm going to be explaining what's the shortcut? Control-T. This system where we are going to be learning some skills and studying some stuff so we can do new things in this world. Looks like a lot of fireplaces have been going here. It's probably it is one of the earliest things we can build. People are just putting fireplaces all over the place trying to practice the game and figure it out. Anyway, so basically to buy this skill here, you can see there's a requirement. So we have to study a smooth stone to get these survival skills. And this is basically the first thing we have to get. So we have to find the smooth stone and study it. So, studying a smooth stone will consume our black bile, and that's here. Okay, so you can see when you mouse over the smooth stone, and you can see that even though it's the same item, it provides different stats. Like you can see here, the hunting and gathering is a little lower. So are a few other things. So you can see this fills the bar up fully. This one, not quite. I'm not exactly sure how this is determined. I think it's randomized. It's the same with food items. Like, for example, I have 2 huckleberries here. And you can see they fill up bars at a different rate. I'm not sure how you can get higher quality fruit, even though it's the same fruit. Maybe when you're actually growing it, there's like fertilizers and stuff which will provide a better yield or something like that. Anyway, since this is the first one and we don't need to fill these up all the way, and even though hunting and gathering is a little lower on this stone, it's still enough to reach the requirement, which is this red bar here. So I'm going to start studying this. So just right click and then select study, and you can see it's starting to fill up here, and it should start consuming our black bile. See there, now it's 4.8 out of 5. So this is going to start filling up, and it has destroyed the item. Meanwhile, let's have a look around. It's starting to look like the world's getting pretty populated. I think a lot of beta invites have finally reached the players. And one thing I didn't check out before here, town, control P. This still doesn't do anything, it seems. And as shadows off, the shadows are off. So every time you start the game, shadows turn off again. So I gotta remember to turn those back on, otherwise the game's not gonna look pretty! Because, as we all know, graphics are a priority in this game. Anyway, how's our studying going? It's going pretty fast. And the longer this goes on, the lower our black bar goes. So once it reaches enough to buy survival skills, I should buy it. And basically, once you buy this, all of these bars will then clear off. So even though you can like max on the arts and craft here and you buy survival skills, that doesn't need arts and craft at all, it will still lose that progress. So you really have to be careful with what items you study and everything. Okay, so you can see that it's now available, and I should buy this before it wastes any more of my black bile. So there, the stone's gone, all the progress there is gone, but I now have survival skills. And survival skills will allow me to do a few new things. For example, on trees, we can now pick branch. So let's go pick a branch here, and it will fill our inventory with a branch and an extra one, which I don't really need, so I'm just going to put that down. There's a little branch on the ground. So now we have a branch. And branches are used to make fireplaces, which I'm not exactly sure how to do right now, but that's not the point of this video anyway. So that's how studying works. So, for example, now we have, we've unlocked survival, bought survival skills, we've unlocked these 3 new ones. So we can see colonial tradesmanship, which, let's see, requires those things, and the beginning colony requires a full plethora of tradesmen to help it grow and develop. Colonial tradesmanship allows you to craft some simple tools and is the first step on your way to becoming a useful and productive tradesman in the new world. So that looks pretty good, but it doesn't actually say what it will allow you to do. Well, besides simple tools. So I'm guessing like basic axes. I did see some trees were cut down, so some people would have gotten that. But I'm not sure what you have to study to get that, because see, a smooth stone doesn't boost up law and lore. That's hard to say. Law and lore. Law. Anyway, so a smooth stone doesn't do that, or does sparks and embers. So I have to figure out how to build those up. Then we have foraging, which we can get by studying a smooth stone. And foraging, let's see. Foraging for supplies can be a difficult endeavor under the best of circumstances, but in a strange and wild land unfamiliar to the would-be woodsman, the difficulty of this most critical art of survival can approach a Herculean. Bit dramatic, don't you think? Foraging allows you your first insights into the wild plant life of the new world, so not too exciting, but it will probably allow us to get more food from the wildlife and all of that. Then we have self-defense, where we need to train up our cloak and dagger and sparks and embers, which again we don't gain from smooth stones or any of these items really. And self-defense, let's see. Many are the horrors from beast to man that lurk the dark corners of the new world. Self-defense gives you the ability to defend yourself using basic unarmed combat. So we have 3 new things here, and we can only get 1 from studying a smooth stone. To get colonial tradesmanship, let me check. Studying the smooth stone will get us frontier and wilderness, but it won't get us sparks and ember or law and lore. So I'm guessing we'll get sparks and embers from building these fireplaces, but I'm not exactly sure how to build these fireplaces. I do have flint here. Let me check. Oh, there's actually, I think there's some new options here. Yeah, this is definitely new. So basically, unlocking our survival skills. Did I read this? Between the wailings of the squonk and the Indian, the lumber woods are a terrifying place for even the most hardened of European visitor. A fair mastery of the survival skills is essential when traveling farther afield from the sheltering bosom and protection of Boston. Okay, so this is definitely new. So it's unlocked a few things here. So before it was just under adventure, and we have a few things here. And movement, which was what we had before, where we have run, which allows us to run, but okay, I don't have to cover that. So now we have 2 new ones, build and craft. So under build, we can build a pile of wood. So that's what all of these things are. And under craft, we have clothes, equipment, and weapons, food, inspirationals, and oh, this is actually crafting new items to study. So it's kind of cyclical like that. Hay, I'm not sure what we can do with that, and tinder drill. Also, one more thing, if you study one of these and it fills up to the max, as in, for example, we study this and we fill this bar all the way up, and it does actually, yeah, you can see on the stone, see Frontier and Wilderness, it'll increase by 1,000. So some of these smooth stones does boost it quite high, but obviously the max here is 500. So if we study this and boost the bar all the way up to the max, instead of picking one of these, we can actually click here and it will increase the level of this skill. So for example, if we click this and Mines and Mountains is filled up, and then we click Mines and Mountains, then it will boost this to 6 and the max will be 600. So when it comes to these things which have requirements, later on some of these skills will require more than 500. So you have to boost these skills to be able to purchase higher level skills. And let's just go over these things pretty quickly. If we mouse over here, it seems like only a few of these have pop-ups right now, but reading this, increasing your value in Mines and Mountains reduces your risk of failing or falling when climbing, and also the damage you take when you do fall. So looks like boosting some of these gives you some abilities. And stocks and cultivars. Increasing your value in stocks and cultivars increases the maximum amount of plenty that will be randomly added to fields when you plant them. Oh, so this is like a farming skill. And there's actually quite a lot here. I haven't really looked at all of this, but perennial philosophy, natural philosophy, thread and needle, sugar and spice, pots and pans, hunting and gathering, hammer and nail, frontier and wilderness, faith and wisdom, cloak. Pretty cool here, actually. I like this leveling system. And it really is skill-based. And it does allow for quite a high degree of specialization, which I do think that is kind of the point, because there's so many players who's going to be playing this. It's going to be hundreds, if not thousands, on a server, and everyone needs to play their part, and that's how pilgrims were. You all specialize in your own thing. Some would farm, some would... What? That guy is carrying a rock. I don't know how you do that or what you need to unlock to do that, but man, he looks strong. Anyway, I think that basically covers how the skills and leveling works, and I'll be doing a couple more videos, especially on the gluttony concept and also the crafting concept. I'll see you guys in the next video.